where could be our areas for improvement? That's why I usually give the previous activity as a homework, because only after delivering a mini presentation, maybe we have a clearer awareness of which modules might be modules that we would like to focus on, because these are our areas for importance, and which modules are the ones where we consider to be our strength. So today we're going to look at the skills and practices that are important in delivering advanced presentations. We will be talking about some different presentation styles and what can help us choose that particular presentation style. And of course, the main aim is, what is it that we can do to improve our presentation skills? So this improving our presentation skills requires time, but it's not impossible. I know that for most of us, sometimes we feel very nervous or excited. Sometimes we don't know how to plan our presentations. We don't know how to actually practice so that we have this awareness of all three V's: the visual, the vocal, and the verbal elements of our presentation. So I hope that throughout this course and during our session today, you will have a better, clearer idea on what we can do to help you improve your presentation skills. So first, we will start with mini presentations. So today, what you're going to do is first, you're going to give a short presentation, maximum 5 minutes. What I would recommend, let's say time range, 3 to 5 minutes. You can choose the topic. So for the first topic, for the first module, you choose the topic. Last module, module 8, it has to be work related, and it's a longer presentation. It's about 10-15 minutes long. But today is just to have a better idea about our presentation skills. I would advise you to choose something that you already love talking about. It could be about your hobbies. It could be about your work. It could be maybe about the learning objectives for this course. But choose something that you really would like to discuss. Why? Because again, it's that energy that really does matter. So if you're feeling enthusiastic, we will also, as your audience members, feel enthusiastic about your topic. As you're listening to other participants delivering their presentations, please refer to the feedback sheet in your task box to take notes on each other's presentations. So this is really important. There are just a few questions. We're not going into any details, but it would be great if you could just take some notes. In the task book, you have the feedback sheet. And just to let you know that this is an editable PDF file. So you can just type in while you're listening. You don't need to go into too many details, but maybe a sentence or two for each question. And afterwards, you're going to share feedback on what you really liked about each other's presentations. And I would really like today to be a very positive session. I would really like us all to focus on what we really loved about our presentations, because most of the time at the very beginning, we immediately notice what we didn't like and we don't feel so much at ease. But I want to start in a very positive way. So there are a lot of strengths, and I'm sure I will be delighted with all the strengths that you're going to share. And maybe it could be good to share some suggestions, some pieces of advice to each other on how you can enhance them further. Okay? So I'll give you just a couple of minutes. I'll stop sharing the slides. I'll give you just a couple of minutes to think about the presentation. You don't need to use any visuals. Don't worry about that. When it comes to the time, try not to make the presentations shorter than 3 minutes or longer than 5 minutes. and just decide that you can decide on a topic that you're really excited about. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Amelia. Yes, I understand. No problem. Who would like to start first?
I think I can start first.
Thank you.
So, should I start now or in a few minutes?
Well, if you feel it's easy starting now, that would be great. Yes, but yes, you decide. You tell us.
Um, okay, I think I'll start now. Okay. All right. So, hi everyone. My name is Cairo. Nice to meet everyone. I hope everyone's fine. So, first of all, I would like to begin my TED Talk with a question. What do you think is something that everyone should have? It's not something too abstract, like a dream or like a, or not something materialistic either, like infinite money. So what do you guys think? You guys want to try guessing? Take a wild shot?
Just one thing. That one thing that we should all have.
Yeah,
Confidence?
good, but I'm not that fancy, so that's not quite the answer. Good try. Good. I love it.
This is a really good question. Watch or a clock?
Good answer, but not
I
quite.
mean, okay.
Okay, I'll tell you guys. It's a hobby.
Okay.
It's a hobby. Yeah. Like I said, it's not a fancy answer. Maybe a little bit disappointing, but okay. So why is it a hobby? First of all, hobby is something that well, there's multiple reasons. First, hobby can help you with a lot of stuff. I go into details, and then hobby can also affect your life, not just in a way that having fun. Okay, I'll go into details as well. So first of all, hobbies, something that can help you, um, not necessarily cope. It makes it sound bad, but can help you, give something you can look forward to. Maybe each day, maybe towards the end of the week, and it's gonna be something that you love, but also not quite a commitment. It can be a commitment if you wanted to, but I would say just make it casual, nothing too serious. Should be okay, something in the middle. That's sweet spot. And for myself, my hobby is this thing called Dungeons and Dragons, where we sort of like role play ourselves into being this sort of like um fantasy adventuring party, and nothing. It's not like we're playing a video game. We're talking to each other, and we are describing what our characters, what we are role playing as, what we would do. We would slay monsters, we would save villages. It's fantasy, it's nerd stuff, but I really look forward to it because we play it every week, and whenever I have bad days or sometimes something bad happens, still have something to look forward to at the end of the day, and because of at the end of the week, so that helps me cope with a lot of bad, not really a lot of bad stuff, but adult worlds. Okay, and Dungeons and Dragons actually, and that brings me to my second point, which is how your hobby can affect your life. And for Dungeons and Dragons, um I play with my friends that is outside of Malaysia. Most of them from USA, some of them from Europe. So in order to communicate, in order to play this game, I would need to speak a lot. Like I need to be descriptive about my actions. And I started being really awkward. It was 5 years ago when I started, and I was a bit shy. I was a bit like awkward. What do I say? But because precisely I played with people outside of Malaysia that do not understand Malay, I sort of like need to force myself to improve on my speaking and my delivery. So that's why I improved quite a lot from all these years of playing with them. So that's why I think why all people, why everyone should have a hobby. It really helps you with those two things I mentioned just now. It helps give something you look forward to, and also it can also affect your life and improve it. Thank you for coming
That's
to it.
wonderful. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Jairo. Okay, now I think we can just give very brief feedback on what Jairo did really well, on the strengths, and if there are any ideas on how he can enhance it even further. So we're focusing on the strengths because we want to build that confidence in when it comes to delivering presentations. So Aina,
Um, I like how he opened up with questions because, that's really get the audience engaged and in tune with what he's going to say next.
exactly, exactly. That's a wonderful way to captivate your audience's attention, to start with a question. And it was a really good question, so thanks a lot. It got us thinking, and smiling and laughing, so that was great. Amelia, anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, I think the way that Kyril using the storytelling method is really great because now he got us curious about the Dungeon and Dragons. How is he playing that thing for so long, and how is he getting like from being shy and now being more open to people? It really attract us to download that video game or whatever it is.
You're right. You're right. So you've managed to influence us. That's great, Jairo. So, great influencing skills. And so, yeah, I would also like. I completely agree. Would also like to add that the structure was really good. You had a nice structure. So the opening started with a very interesting question. We were thinking about the question, and then there was a nice storytelling technique. And what's also really important, this is something that I come across rarely in some of these first presentations at the beginning of the course, was that you had a clear closing. So the structure of your presentation was really nice. So you had a nice, engaging opening. Then the body of the presentation was about the story that you shared. And you had a wonderful closing. So kind of like, yes, you close that circle, and that's really amazing. So congratulations, Jairo. Amelia, would you like to be next?
Yes, thank you. So, hi everyone. My name is Amelia, and today I am going just to share a little bit about what I actually really enjoy doing outside of work. Of course, work is part of my hobby because I like to be active most of the day. I like to keep my brain working, even though that I'm not doing something. But outside of the work, I really like travel. I like travel a lot too, one places to another. Why traveling is the highlight of my hobby? Because from traveling, I get the chance to experience a lot of things. I get a chance to meet a lot of people from various countries. I can learn their culture as well. And most of it, I can taste their food. I'm a foodie. So I like tasting lots of foods. Like, for example, when I'm in Kuala Lumpur, nasi kandar, nasi lemak is my top tier. And besides of the advantage that I get from traveling is meeting people and experiencing their culture is I get the chance to know more about myself because I travel a lot alone. So it's like surviving the world by myself. And I think it's really nice to know how you're going to survive during these days and while enjoying it. So yeah, I think that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Amelia. Wonderful. Aina and Hyrule, what are the strengths? Any suggestions to further
I
enhance
like
the
the
strength?
enthusiastic. It's
Uh-huh.
very enthusiastic. Yeah. I like how you know she really likes traveling from the way
Exactly.
she
Exactly.
presents.
Very authentic, very
Yeah, yeah,
enthusiastic and authentic. Yes.
I like it.
She's also very clear on why she thinks traveling is important to her, how it developed her as a person. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I would completely agree with everyone here. I also noticed a really great use of rhetorical questions. So sometimes, for example, Hyrule was really good at using a direct question at the beginning. So we were all thinking about how to answer it. But sometimes in presentation, it's good to use rhetorical questions. And rhetorical questions are questions you ask, but you don't expect audiences to answer the question. So you pause and then provide your idea of the answer. So that was really good, and especially as the rhetorical question was very similar to, I think, what we were thinking about. So that kept us also engaged. What was also really good, knowing the audience when you were sharing like your favorite dishes, you shared the favorite dishes when you're in Malaysia, and we could see everyone, or you could see the faces were really lit, and everybody was really excited to hear that. So you adapted it to your audience as well. And it also had a nice ending to it. So I just have a final question because I was really intrigued by your presentation. So, from your travels, which has so far been the most interesting country for you to explore and to visit?
The interesting part when I went to Mecca a couple years ago, Mecca and Medina, it's not only because I get the experience for on the side of religious thing, but I also get a chance to know more about their culture, which is kind of giving me a little shock at the time. And the food that we do have some Arabic foods in Indonesia, but when I came there, it tastes 100% different. So
Different, yeah.
different, yeah, it's very like authentic. I can say that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did be it's like nice.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Aina, we would love to hear from you, please. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Saina. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I would really love to speak more about the importance of walking. So during this session, I'll be walking you through the 3 benefits of walking, which I find really, really important for me, and also how it can also improve your life, as a whole. Okay, so the first one is for you to be able to improve your mental health. So on a daily basis, we are bogged down by so many sensories around us, and it can get overwhelming. So when you go for a walk, it really helps for you to wind down and just have a presence, just to be present in the moment when you were walking and just declutter your mind. So that is one of the reasons why I love to incorporate walking in my daily routine. Secondly, it's a great way for you to improve your cardiovascular health. So basically, based on research, we have to include about 150 minutes of walking per week in order for you to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So, and finally, the third reason, it's always a great way for you to connect with people and also nature. Not to mention, it's a lovely idea for a first date. It's a great way for you to connect with people, with the person that you are going out with, to have a leisurely walk. So overall, I believe by walking, it will really help people to achieve healthier lifestyle with as a low impact activity that is suitable for all ages. So my question for you today that I leave you with, where would you go for a walk today?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Aina. Thanks a lot. Hi, Roland, Emilia. Tell us, what's your feedback on what was done really well? Any suggestions you may have to
Yeah, I
continue with
think
really
the way
good
that
presentation skills? Yes, please.
yes, I think the way that Aina delivered the presentation is really great, and she engaged with the audience by giving the questions in the end, and she also explained it very clear, influencing the audience to taking step small is very, very easy, but at some point it is also important. And to answer that question, where am I going to work today? Probably not. It's been raining here.
Maybe,
Can do
maybe
tomorrow.
it may be raining a lot.
Tomorrow? Can I do it tomorrow?
Well, it's 150 minutes per week. So yeah.
I can do it
So
tomorrow,
maybe.
Yeah, I like how it is very, very structured
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning towards the end. I picked up on an unintentional pun when she said, "I will walk you through the point of walking." I
That
picked
was
up on
incredible. Yes, exactly. Yes.
I love it. Actually, a really nice hook as well. We can see her enthusiasm, why walking is important to her, but she also mentioned how it could also affect you as the audience. So that's sort of like is the hook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was also very audience centric. So I completely agree with you. So yes, it was interesting the very beginning of how you are going to walk us through the benefits of walking, which is fabulous. I agree with you. Another thing I really like, so the opening was really great. You had the body of the presentation is clearly divided into three parts. That's great. They do say that it would be great if we could divide the body of the presentation into threes, because that's the number that the brain processes really well. Two sometimes is not enough, a four is sometimes too much. Three is considered the perfect number. And not only that, the clear transitions, you would say, point one, the first thing I would like to mention. And the second, so you're just reminding us so that you've completed discussing about the first point, you're moving on to the second, and that was also really, really nice. And I like the closing. Which was very effective. So we're all thinking about, so when are we going to, and I'm thinking about it, but then it's 40 degrees outside. I know in some parts of the world it may be raining somewhere. Here we have this really hot summer, so yeah. But like Amelia, I'll do it tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for delivering your first presentations. It's always a bit difficult, especially if you don't know other people, especially if this was a little bit of a surprise, but you did it really well. And the main aim is not only to practice, but also to raise confidence, raise awareness that there are so many elements that when you don't have enough time, when you don't have any visuals, when it's a little bit of a surprise, you can actually deliver really, really good presentations. Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Amelia. Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you. So let me just continue sharing the slides. Today we gave each other verbal feedback, but feel free, you can also, in your free time, just write down some notes in the task book as well. So when it comes to skills and practices that are important when it comes to giving advanced presentation, this is everything that was also present today. So you all clearly communicated your presentations. So clarity is not only from the words, certainly the words are important, but clarity also depends on how we say it. So the audio element and the visual element is also very important. So for example, Hyrule would sometimes gesticulate as well. Aina had a beautiful smile. So these are also ways to add clarity to our messages. So clear communication, just wanted to say, it's not only about using clear words, clear phrases, also clear sentences, etc. It's not about that only. It's also the way we deliver our presentations. Engagement. You have all been very engaging in our presentations. In your presentations. So how did you include engagement? Asking questions, direct questions, rhetorical questions, also thinking about the answers as well. And there was a lot of empathy and listening. So as you were delivering your presentations, I could see also from your facial expressions, there was empathy and you were listening. You were listening to what other people said. Since these were very short presentations, you didn't have many opportunities to actually listen. But when people were actually responding to some of the questions you asked, you were clearly listening, actively listening, and showing empathy for the information they share. So these are the main pillars: clear communication, engagement, empathy, and listening. And this is something that we will be also discussing throughout the whole course. Today, we're just talking about the essentials. Now, I would just like to take a few minutes of your time just to discuss different presentation styles. It can depend on the time that we are given, and it can depend on, of course, the topic and the audience. So let's think about what presentation styles we could choose from. So just for the purposes of this course, we have chosen only 4 presentation styles. So you will see maybe in some other books, journals, etc., there are more or there are fewer than 4, but just for the purposes of this course, we have chosen 4 mostly used presentation styles. So let's do this. Let's try to do this together, okay? Lecture style. What do you think? So here we have 4 definitions. 4 styles, presentation styles, and we just need to choose out of these 4 which is the lecture style. So when you think about the lecture style, it's usually the lecture style like when you were at university or maybe you're still attending any courses, when the audiences are much wider, bigger. You have, let's say, 1 professor. So which one would be out of these 3?
I think the third one.
Would you like to read it out?
Sorry?
Would you like to read it out, please?
Oh,
yes.
sure. Longish one-way presentation with polished visuals and well-rehearsed delivery, usually for larger audiences.
Exactly. So as we can see here, it's so some presentations are okay if they are one way. So for example, you can see for lecture style, there's a longer presentations. It's normal for them that they're mainly one way. And as we can see, they're for very, very large audiences. When was the last lecture style presentation that you attended?
I think I watch a presentation on the YouTube. I'm not sure
Uh-huh.
if that counts. Yeah, so it's a
Yeah.
pre-recorded. Yeah, it's not live.
Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Yes, you're right. On YouTube, there are lots of lecture style presentations. Yes, and Jairo?
For me, the last live lecture sort of that I attended was when I was taking my license. So they have this like 8 hour long class where they explains all the it was very boring. They explain all the road signs, all the roads and everything. But I think that fits the description.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Wow. Then we have sometimes people call it the narrative style, or the narrator style. What do you think? Which out of the three that are left could be the narrative style?
Should be the second one.
Okay. Would you like to read it out?
Yes, presenter coordinates and guides interaction and discussion, usually for smaller audiences. Opportunities for audience to give input and co-design.
Actually, it's the first one.
Oh.
Okay. So, yes, narrator or narrative. Again, because it's the person who has the narrative, who has the story of the presentation. So that's why they're considered usually one-way presentations that are a bit shorter. And there's the Q&A session, and they're usually for smaller audiences. Sorry. Yes, because the emphasis here is on the person. So yes, the person, yeah, the narrator style. Okay. Then we have the interactive style. Do you think it's the second or the fourth?
I think it's the second one. Presenter coordinates and guides interaction. Oh.
I know. There are a few surprises here. Don't worry, you have all this information also in the toolkit. Yes, interactive style. Sorry, just to save time. Yes, sorry, I stopped you from reading.
Okay.
It's about, yes, audience being engaged, interactive. When audience is engaged, involved, directly involved in conversation, they tend to be very polished in the sense because you need to understand what interactive techniques you would use. And the last one is the facilitator style. So the facilitator style is when the presenter doesn't necessarily present, and sometimes the person doesn't even give that much input. It's about the audience giving input. Sometimes throughout the discussion, maybe some new elements may arise. So what the person needs to do, the facilitator needs to understand how to coordinate and guide the interactions and discussions and just respect time. So these are the four styles: lecture style, narrator style, interactive style, and the facilitator style. When you think about your presentations, are they usually, what style would they be when you need to deliver your presentations?
That depends on the occasion.
I think for me, it's a bit of a shock, but it's more of a lecture style because I really guide people through the steps of onboarding or doing assessment. So it's
Okay.
like me going through and then answering question.
Okay.
Question and answers, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think I'm more used to the narrator style. They have questions towards the end.
Okay. Okay. No, it's great. I think first, as we can see, it does depend on how long the presentations are. It does depend on how large our audiences are. It does depend on the aim of the presentation. So very often, I think it's just clear to understand that not all presentations need to be engaging, that audiences need to be always engaged. Sometimes, as we can see, the facilitated style, it's just there to guide interaction and discussion. And the main input actually comes from the audience. It's not necessarily from the person, the presenter. So I think it's really nice just to understand these different styles that depend on the already mentioned elements. Okay, as we can see, the style depends on the objective. What could be the objective? The objective could be just to inform. Sometimes it's just to inform. So as we can see, in that case, the impact on engagement is here. It's much less. And that's fine. Sometimes that is just the case, to inform. In some cases, we need to consult, involve, or collaborate with. So depending on the impact of engagement, whether it's less or high, and depending on engagement objectives, we can understand the different styles. So as we have noticed, so lecture style, it's mainly to inform. Impact on engagement here is on this very low level, and that is fine. That is fine for the lecture style. If it's to inform and consult, that's the narrative style, okay? And still, again, we can see the impact on engagement is here from the middle towards the less, and that is fine for this type. Interactive style now stretches because, of course, here, interactive style, the impact of engagement needs to be more present. And then here we can see facilitator style that moves more towards the other part. So as we can see, facilitator style doesn't have, the aim is not to inform at all for the facilitator style. It's to consult, it's to involve, it's to collaborate. Okay, all of this information can be found in the toolkit. So what I would like us to do is choose one. So you're going to find two cases. So task 4, it's task book number 6, and I would like you to choose only one case study. So Aina, you will choose the first, and Hyrule, you're going to choose the second case study, okay? And I would like you, when you open your task books, page number 6, can you please decide on the most appropriate engagement objective and presentation style for that particular case? So this is just to save time. So Aina, I'm going to share my task books just to add clarity. Just give me a second. So I'm going to share the task book now. So case studies, so page number 6, but it's activity number 4. Case 1, Aina, could you please look at case number 1, and case number 2, Hyrule. So I'm just going to give you 3 to maximum 4 minutes to think about. Feel free to refer to the toolkit. I know there might have been a bit more information I was sharing. So when it comes to the engagement objectives and the presentation styles. So if you could refer to the toolkit, and case number 1, that's for Aina. Case number 2, that's for Hyrule. So I'll just give you a few minutes to complete this activity. I'll keep it on, I'll keep sharing my task book, but I'm going to put my microphone on mute and switch off my camera, and I'll return in a few minutes. Okay. Thank you. Please feel free to let me know when you're ready. So just to focus on one case study. Hi, Ron. Okay, I have the impression that you have completed. So it's the second case study. What do you think?
That's right.
Yeah, what could be the engagement objectives and reasons, and presentation style, and what could be the reasons you have chosen the presentation style? Thank you.
So for the first one, I would say the engagement objective is I wrote it out as to be heard and also to make the pitch or the suggestion attractive to the audience, because the keyword is pitching
Exactly.
new priorities. And then for presentation style, I went for narrator style, smaller audience, and then Q&A towards the end can be used to answer any follow-up questions or maybe address any doubts.
But when we look at the audience, it says a senior leadership team. And it's a very small audience, and we've got lots of time, 60 minutes. It's hybrid. So some people would be online, some people would be actually in that small meeting room. Do you think that the narrator's style, so given them, we're talking about new strategic priorities for organization. So narrator style with 8 people, 60 minutes.
Yeah, that might be a bit too long for a narrative style. Yeah, people could easily get bored, I think, if it's that long.
So
Or
what would
maybe
be, yes, so it's a senior leadership team, so they need to kind of like understand what their input would be, what the
maybe
goals would be.
facilitator style would suit better.
Possibly, yes. I'm just thinking because it's such a small audience and they're
Mhm.
all senior leadership team members. So, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm sure that they would all have something to say
Yeah, you're right.
for such an important topic. Yes. And it's a small meeting room. Okay. However, it may depend also on the culture of the company. It can be narrator style as well. So in certain companies, maybe facilitator style would be better. In some other companies, the narrator style could also work rather well. It does depend on the company culture as well. So thanks a lot. I would agree with you. Yeah. And Aina, what do you think about the first case study?
I was actually going back and forth between narrator style and lecture style.
Mhm.
This is a bit tricky for me, but at the end, I went for the lecture style because the objective is to inform and the engagement level is going to be low. But they may be open to Q&A at the end. Yeah, so
Exactly. I would completely agree with you. Yes. It's some because we can see here the audience members are staff without any line management responsibilities. So yes, actually, the main aim would be to inform. Certainly, they may have some questions, so I would completely agree with you. Yes, 25 people face-to-face conference room for 30 minutes. Yeah, mainly, yes, the aim would be to inform, and if there is a sometimes for for the short Q&A session, yes, that would be great. Yeah, I would completely agree with you. So thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing. Okay. So let me just continue sharing my slides. Okay, so we've looked at these case studies. So, for the first one, to inform the audience, narrative style, but I would completely agree with you that it could be a lecture style as well. It depends if there are going to be any Q&A sessions given the limited time as well. And also here, it's about new strategic priorities, to consult, involve, and collaborate. So the facilitative style. Okay, so thank you. Thanks a lot for taking part in this activity. Just the final question. I hope you can see the questions. So when it comes to delivering your presentations at work, what are usually the objectives and presentation styles? And do you think that this is an appropriate fit for the context? And why?
mm, sorry, I'll go first. Is it to share it here?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. My engagement objective is quite high. I wanted them to be engaged as in interested, not contributing to what I have to say. So it is more like a lecture style because I provide them with the information, and then for them to digest it and understand the steps. But at one point, I feel because they are going to adopt these tasks, I need to make my presentation a bit more interesting. So to capture their interest so that they can understand the step that I'm walking them through.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. And Hyrule, what's your opinion?
For me specifically, I think I don't have like a presentation um in my current role, but I would say whenever I have something similar, it would be narrative style, because it would be like me explaining what is the process, or answering what is the issue arise, and I try to explain like all these back end terms to maybe someone like Davey, someone managerial that don't really have like full grasp of the concept. So I'm just informing them, and if they have questions, they can ask like towards the end.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. Thanks a lot for sharing. When it comes to your future presentations, do you think that they would change? So these are the presentations that you deliver now, but when it comes to some of the presentations, maybe you're planning to deliver them soon, that will be slightly different. Would the style change? Would the objective possibly change?
I think yes, because previously I approached it as lecture, so that's why I don't get the objective that I wanted through engagement. So moving forward, I will adapt it to narrative style instead.
Or sometimes, yes, within, especially if these presentations are really long, we can mix and match some of the elements of our presentation. So this is not, of course, for a short 10-minute presentation, but if we know that we will have like a longer, sometimes we need to deliver 60-minute presentations. Maybe some elements could be the facilitated style. Maybe some elements could be the interactive style, etc. So sometimes it's okay to mix and match them. It's not like one presentation, one objective, one style. It does depend on the length of the presentation, but if they're too long and the audiences are from possibly different departments, we're talking about larger, wider audiences, it's fine to mix and match sometimes. And Jairo, how about you? Do you know anything about your future presentations?
I would say not much occasion where my style would change. I do have I would say more of a interactive collaboration style. When we are trying to figure out how to handle certain cases or certain issues. Maybe it is not my area of expertise, or maybe it's no one's areas of expertise. So we are all just trying to figure it out together.
Yeah, yes, yes. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Thanks a lot. Thank you. I believe I can pause the recording now. Is that okay? Okay. So thank you. Thank you very much for taking part in today's activities. And let's just think about some questions. It would be great just to discuss some of the questions. So I've shared some questions here in the chat. And as we're discussing, there may be some new questions that I may ask you, or you also, please feel free at ease to ask any questions. Now, when you think about your mini presentation today, how have the course objectives changed as a result of this module? So your course objectives. So I'm sure that when you started this course, you had certain course objectives. Have they by any chance changed as a result of this module, as a result of delivering your first presentation? Usually before we start a new course, we have a certain set of expectations or some objectives that we would like to achieve. If they haven't changed, that's fine. But if they have changed, it would be great.
For me, I go into this course expecting to improve my presentation skills in general. But as we dig deeper into it, we learn there's different style of presentation for many different occasions. So the aim is not only to improve the skills in general, but also to use which presentation skills at the right occasion. So that's something that I want to, that is my objective right now.
And that can really help us in the preparation stage. So just once we have the clarity on the presentation style, on the purpose, of course, we need to know the audience. We need to know whether it's going to be online, in person, hybrid. If once we know these details, and especially if we know the audiences, so smaller group, larger group, if it's smaller group, what are their positions? Are they kind of like more senior ranking roles? This can really help us then just to kind of focus on that particular style that would suit the aim, the purpose of the presentation, and also that would be relevant for the audiences. Yeah, I think that can really help us in the preparation stages. Aina, is there anything you would like to mention?
I think my objective have shifted in a way that I would like to focus more on the preparations side, because this is often something that I've overlooked, which is packaging the presentation to the audience. So now that I know there's a different lectures, there's the different presentation style, I can fit it into based on the circumstance of the presentation that I have to deliver.
Exactly. It's interesting that you've mentioned preparation, and preparation is key. We need to, as we all already know, we need to practice a lot. What are the best ways for you that have really worked when it comes to preparing for a presentation? How do you practice it as well?
Usually I start with the content, the visual on how it will help me when delivering some of the details. So that's usually the start on how I shape, and also the time that I have. But now I think we can dig a little bit deeper in terms of how it to be delivered. Is it going to break up into few sessions and engagement in the middle, or that's yeah.
Exactly. And when it comes to actually practicing for the presentation, do you by any chance know, for example, some of my colleagues, including myself, we practice like in front of a mirror, we practice with some of our other colleagues or some of our family members. How do you practice? What are the ways that have helped you really to practice, but effectively, to practice your delivery effectively?
What I feel thing that helped me is to actually open, it sounds a bit funny, but I switch on the meeting just for myself. So that I can practice putting up the visual so that there will not be technical difficulties later on. So I actually practice the whole flow itself using the medium that I'm going to deliver, which is usually over Teams meeting or Zoom.
Oh, Teams, congratulations. Teams is a bit more challenging, isn't it?
Yeah.
Zoom is a bit easier to use, but Teams, yeah. That's great. So you have like a practice session where you set it up and you are the one practicing, so just making sure that everything works, etc. Yes. That's great. I should have done that today with Mentimeter. I thought I had done it, but yes, I should have done it better. So thank you. Thanks a lot. You're right. That is what they say. So sometimes just videotaping ourselves, also using that particular platform, checking how that platform works. Some of us may be more at ease when it comes to using Zoom. Some of us may feel more at ease when it comes to using Teams. So knowing how to use platform is really, really important. And just checking, yes, how you're going to share the documents, what you're going to share in the chat, etc. So that that doesn't distract you and you feel, and other people, other attendees